it's a cry for help, the for sale sign, and it gets people excited, and it gets them talking, and I put it up there to try to create discussion and awareness. It's not to make money off this thing. I won't make a dime. We're committing ourselves to that. We would like to get our family made whole again, so we don't lose our homes. And so that's what we're looking to try to do. So with the right person that comes along, we'll try to do whatever we can. If they can show the stewardship, and even if they don't, we'll help provide with communities that may come out of people like yourselves. May not be here all the time, but on an ongoing basis, hey, we can run down for a weekend or something like that, help out and support, because everyone who's in here, who will be here, is going to need some time off. Because I'll guarantee you, it's wonderful to be here, and when people come in to try to help them, but it wears you out. And so, because what you want to try to do when you have people come in that need help, you really want to give them everything. Because it's funny here that God doesn't really send us the folks who are healthy and fine. We get the ones who are either super broken, super lost, and it's a rarity when we get, good groups of faithful folks who are coming in trying to strengthen themselves. But we need more of that, because it all adds to the cumulative graces and the strength that comes with that community. So, yeah.
Finish your story about your guest in the office.
Okay. Well, well. It takes 3 days, and I really, because everything leads to something, and it's all good. But the two ladies over there, she says, we've been praying for you since 1957. I said, well, thank you. I said, my mother would be very happy to know that. And she says, well, happy birthday. And she said, you didn't know about the prophecy? And I said, no, what prophecy? So she says, well, she was up there talking to these gentlemen. This gentleman stands up and says, this place will stand as a bastion to Catholicism. She says, no. The place will have a long period of long, dark, non-Christian possession, and a 40-year-old man not yet born will come along and reclaim the property and return it to its greatest work. So I said, well, that's no pressure, Yeah, I guess you're talking about me. She says, yes. And for those who don't know, there was a group in here for nearly 25 years called the Way International, who owned this place. And the Sisters of Precious Blood sold it to them. And, but they used a ghost buyer so that the nuns could say we didn't sell it to them. We sold it to this guy, but 10 minutes later, he transferred the property over to them and made himself a cool, chunky change and took some of the land, and that was his fee. But everyone knew what was going on, but it let the nuns not have to say that they sold it to the Way. Okay? They sold it to a middleman, I sold it to the Way. Well, anyway, they were in here, and they didn't believe in Jesus as being the Son of God. They thought Jesus was a really cool dude, okay? But he wasn't God, and he couldn't do, things that God does, okay? And they still feel that Catholics are the devil incarnate. We have horns underneath our hair. Okay? Now these are things that they teach a lot of their members, is that Catholic people are doing the devil's work. But what they're trying to do, the government has determined that they were a cult. And they still are. And they're still out recruiting. And so you got to be very, very careful about it. They try to come across as being very charismatic and all like this, but there's a lot of bad things happen to people here who are part of the Way, especially women. They were taken advantage of in very, very bad ways, and I think that fostered a lot of doors, openings for the devil to do his work here at that time. So the devil, over the years, has shown himself in various ways, and definitely doesn't want me here. He's been very forceful about letting me know that. He has made it very forcefully known to the priest I had living here, Father Havel, that he didn't want him here at all. He was very forceful about that. But every time we found that there was major attacks set upon either myself or Father Havel or anyone else who comes in here, I've learned to look at it like okay, if I'm suffering this attack, it means that something good's about to happen. And they want me out of here. And they want Father Hagel out of here. And that just kind of made us stronger to want to stay. Because it's worth the fight, because, you know, as soon as you feel like you've just gotten over that one bad thing, then here comes the next thing. But in the meantime, somebody would come in here and they'd be healed or something. We'd have, I remember the week before Greg Feen, it was major attacks and controversy. This was back in September of 2001, and there was just terrible things going on. Everything was going bad. Everything was breaking. Fires were starting, for no real explainable reason. It was just like nothing was working. Everything was going wrong. It was just like I felt like the biggest loser, the biggest failure. I thought, man, I've really screwed things up for my wife and I. Why did I do this? Why didn't I just, not stick my neck out? Well, later on that week, then I get a call from Herb. He calls up and he says, I need to use your small chapel this week. And I said, well, for what for? He says, I got to pray over a little boy who's dying of cancer. And I said, okay. So, and I was just building the little chapel down at the end of the building down here. That caused a lot of friction for my wife and I, well, mainly for her, on me. Because she says, why are you building another chapel? You got a 400-seat one down at the other end of the building. I said, well, Our Lady wants me to build this one for Father Hagel. And she says, well, let him build his own chapel. We don't have the money. And I said, I got to find the money, whatever, I got to get it done. But anyway, we got the chapel done. Herb shows up with this family from Fort Wayne who had this little 5-year-old boy that was dying of cancer. We caught it late. They come in, pray over the little boy. We had a healing service there for him. The next day, they take him back down to Briley Hospital in Indianapolis to start blood transfusions and chemo and all like that. And they, before they do it, they got to figure out how much juice, how much poison to give the kid the chemo. And so they're taking blood levels and stuff like this. Well, I guess like 3 hours go by. The parents are getting antsy because they said they're going to start in 30 minutes. In 3 hours, it's not 30 minutes, so it leaves a lot of time for mom to get worried. Dad to pace the halls. Anyway, finally the doctor comes back in and says, we got a problem. And the mother melts down. She says, my baby's dead. This is it. We're too late. And the doctor says, no, I don't think you understand. He says, we got a problem. We can't find any cancer. He says, we've tested his blood 3 times now, and we can't find a single blast cell in his body. Okay? And this kid should have been riddled with cancer, because Sunday before, he was dying. And then Thursday they came here. Friday they're back down at Riley Hospital. So from Sunday to Thursday, this kid was dying. He comes here, gets prayed over. We consecrated him to the Blessed Mother and Our Lady of America. And the family did too. She turned her son over to our Lord. And the next day, they're driving back down. I played down this 5-year-old boy saying, Mom, Dad, why are we going? The lady came to my room last night. She says, I'm fine. I won't be sick. And they're going, the lady? And this kid apparently had a visit by the Blessed Mother, came in and said, it'll be okay. I'm with you. And you're not going to be sick. Well, they get down there, they find out. So this family's just like awash with, what's going on. And they've been telling their story around. Their name is Tom and Kathy Feen. They're from Fort Wayne. And the boy Greg is now 13 years old. He was on the radio the other day, heard all across the country. And I'm getting calls from people who want to know how to bring their kids here, their loved ones here. So I just tell them to call Nick and Sue. So I just give them Nick and Sue's phone number. I said, I'm in Chicago. I said, Nick and Sue live across the road. I said, you call them and they'll let you in. So, but that whole week ahead of time was just, I wanted out of here so bad. I wanted to go. I just wanted to fold the tent and say, look, I'm not just killing myself. I'm, in over my head. My wife is falling apart. What am I doing? But then you get this boy comes in, and this family is resurrected. And what it's done for this family is made them monster Catholics and monster evangelists. And they have gone from being faithful to having knowledge. They've accepted the responsibility.